started, so yeah. There you are, sir.
Thank you, bud.
You're welcome.
Forgot one.
No problem at all. We're looking for that.
Oh,
35 grade.
paycheck.
Kelsey's trying to, he's going to be attending virtually, so I just put it on you.
I was making a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I think it was Friday. I got to kill a deer. Spencer got a deer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No, still gotta get the buck. Yeah, yeah. I haven't even seen the buck yet. I've seen the does. My dad's buddy that was for sanitation killed a decent buck last night. And then I saw that Rob Tagger from Parks killed that one. I don't know if you saw that picture of those. They're pretty nice deer.
I didn't, but I heard about it.
Now's the time. I'm trying to go out. We'll see. I don't know if tomorrow's supposed to rain though. So.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go bow hunting when it's raining. It's just not good. I do shoot one. It's just you set yourself up for failure unless you hear it crash.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, my wife told me, if you look over here, I'll try not to. I'll have my eyes closed, but I'm not asleep. When I'm home, I'll talk like this all the time. Don't ask me why. I'm not asleep. She said, well, try to keep them open. I said,
That'll be my cue on whether I'm going through the financials too slow or too fast.
Yeah.
If he looks like he's asleep, we're like, oh, that's it. We're good. Good month.
Good.
He's not really bored.
That's a normal state.
who's going virtual?
Jordan, he emailed me earlier today. So he emailed me earlier today and said that he was going to attend virtually. Okay.
I made it this month.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on 65. I was just getting across town for Aviation. Maybe I give myself plenty of time.
Yeah, that east side's rough.
Then they're coming downtown where it's closed and it's split. So
Oh, yeah.
just be patient. It moves. Just gotta slow down. Oh, our clock is wrong.
Oh,
They didn't account for the daylight savings.
Yeah.
Apparently not by a lot.
Oh, it's more than that,
Asking
huh?
for a new battery.
This says it's 8 p.m. It's time to go home.
We're here till 8 p.m.
I wouldn't want to be out long before that.
There's a problem. Somebody did fall asleep.
Yeah.
At least they want to do good, come to these meetings. Hey, Scott.
Scott,
I don't really get it. No, I don't get it this time because I thought
I think it's best to bring the answer.
Set and Terry.
Hey Scott, how you doing? Good?
Tired. Other than that, I'm all right.
Huh? At our age, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I do it well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at your finance, you got, fuel revenues, obviously a little bit here, but it's like something.
Pretty much with every airport.
Just.
Thank you.
Just doesn't.
I read the actual meeting.
Sometimes.
We obviously didn't read it. And at the end of it,
Oh, I think they're.
Yeah, well, he was like, well, the ordinance doesn't say that, the airport's not.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
He said, I was like, well, it's been said at the budget, different things, and it's, now he's over trying to hide that.
Yeah, one of the council members actually asked, like, just to make clear, the aviation budget is a part of the general funds, correct? Yeah, correct, it's, they get the money, they're self-sufficient.
Yeah, you guys are self-sufficient, you know,
They make it so they get any of the fuel that they bring in. Daily operations, all self-sufficient. Some of the specialized projects probably.
yeah, some of the capital projects are now in the cash reserve.
Of all the things. Oh, I heard that, yes.
And yeah, obviously we'd like to get more, but you gotta look at the budget in total. You can't just make it work, you can't just say, yes, I looked at it, but, you know, you also realize that
We don't bring that much.
it doesn't increase that. And, you know, it's a cost that keeps going, you know,
All right, it is 5:30. So we will call the meeting to order, begin with roll call. Mr. Hines is present. Mr. Jackson does not appear to be present.
He said he was.
I'm here on Zoom.
Oh, there you are. Mr. Weddle,
yes.
Mr. Paddock.
Yes.
All right, so we are all present. First item is meeting approval of the meeting minutes from October 14th, 2021. Everybody get a chance to review those minutes.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Any audience requests? Seeing the tops of heads, so I'll take that as no. Airport manager report, Rick.
All right. We'll go with my normal fuel report. So it looks like we're still staying ahead of the game. The monthly numbers are, low lead is 4% above what we did this October of last year. Year to date, we're up 6.6%. So that equates to 4,081 gallons above what we did last year. So at this point in time, Jet A is the monthly comparison is up 39%. And for the year, we're up 38.6%, which equates to about 33,798 gallons above what we did at this point in time last year. So I forgot to put this on the report, but Cinnamon reminded me that, you know, in doing the calculations for the year-to-date numbers so far, we've sold 187,114 gallons, which is more than pretty much what we've ever sold, you know, at least in the past decade when we've been keeping records. This is the highest year we've had so far. almost 74% of that was our contract fuel sales, so that's, that program continues to drive. Pretty good stuff, pretty good. Our year-to-date numbers for our turbine operations are lower by 16% on the monthly total, 2% overall for the year-to-date. And I think one reason for that can be contributed to, we're getting a little bit larger airplanes in here that are buying more fuel at a time. Like, I think last month we had like a Gulfstream come in that bought almost 2,200 gallons all at once. So stuff like, our operations kind of seem lower, but our fuel sales are up because they're a little bit larger airplanes taking more fuel loads at a time. So, we're not seeing as many 100, 200 gallon fuelings. They're more like 400, 500, 600 most of the time, with NetJets and some of these other bigger corporations coming in with larger stuff. So they said that one was kind of outstanding because they were, like I said, it was like 2,100 and something gallons that they bought all at once. Spencer had to go fuel the truck up again afterward. But so it's a good problem to have, I guess. And I think that number will kind of equal out once we get our traffic monitoring system in place too. We'll have a little bit more accurate count because, like I said in the past, it's all kind of been done manual and we're running around fueling, and sometimes we forget to write the operations down. Our AWAS machine was down most of last month, our weather observation service. So a lot of back and forth with some repairmen and sending out some boards and chips. We were able to finally get that sorted out and fixed. So that's up working again as of last week properly. So should be good there. I mentioned the traffic monitoring system. That's next on the list here. I need to get with IT to see when they can actually install the equipment. So, and then we're release here momentarily to get the paperwork and contracts all taken care of. They have like a free program that you can set up the equipment, to give you the equipment, and then you can monitor it, but you can't get any reports off of it until you subscribe to their. So that's why we got the equipment already. But so once we subscribe to it, again, that's part of the Aviation grant as well. So we'll get, I think the total contract is $4,050, and we should be able to get all that recouped back from this grant that the state's providing. So, and then for the project, last on the project updates, I've been working with All In Painting to get the inside of the terminal building repainted and also the outside of it repainted. So the inside is tentatively scheduled for, it says November 19th here. I did a typo. It's actually the 29th. And then they're trying to work us in to get the exterior done right now. So they're trying to get us worked in before it gets too cold. If they can't do that, then we'll be like number one for the spring time. So, and just to keep you in the loop with, I've been working with the lease and sent them in on a fuel liability waiver for people walking in wanting to purchase mainly avgas, 100 lead. And we're seeing an increase in that because Franklin got sold to another company, and they're in the process of doing some upgrades, so their fuel tanks are, I believe, currently shut down at the moment, so those customers are driving up here and so we got with World Fuel, our fuel provider, and made sure we were doing everything appropriate.
Do they sell the airport or the fuel operation?
They sold the airport because it's a privately owned airport. So the brothers down there that originally owned it sold it to a company that was originally based off of down there off of 37, which is now turning into 69. That, and I can't remember the name of the company that bought it. It's some kind of a automotive modification company, like a custom mod company down there. I want to say Fat House or something like that, mods, but anyway, the state bought their property for the 69 expansion. So they had a bunch of cash and made a cash offer on Franklin Airport. And their intention was to turn it into a test track for running their cars after they worked on them. But they've since talked to some of the tenants down there. Some of the tenants had to move out. Some of them could stay. So they're going to keep the airport open now, from what I understand, and they're repairing or putting in a new fuel system, from what I understood. So from talking to some people that are based down there, and but that's still in progress. So they're going to keep the airport open, and then when they want to test their cars, they're just going to note them the airport closed, I guess. So make sure to check NOTAMs.
Any
But
tenants down there that we should target?
we've talked to a few of them, and I think we've had a couple of them come up here momentarily. We got a few of them on the waiting list for an enclosed hangar that are from Franklin. So we're waiting to drew through those. One or two of them ended up renting a hangar, the open T hangars that we have available, and they're on the waiting lists too. So we got a couple of them from that. So at first, everybody thought they were shutting it completely down and they had to be out by August 31st, but they since kind of changed their tune. So some of the tenants that are on a certain part of, I can't remember what part of the airport they said, but part of that airport, they're going to keep the tenants, and they just moved out to people that in the buildings that the new owners wanted. So it wasn't as bad as initially thought. So, but yeah, so that's the reason for the liability waiver, just to keep you guys in the loop of what's going on. And then for airport business, we got, I wanted to seek approval for a couple of things with the holidays coming up. Wanted to get the approval for the holiday hours for the 2021 season. It should be the same as what we've done the past couple of years. It seemed to work out with the call out fee and everything. So I just wanted to seek the board's approval to get that approved.
I'll move we approve the airport holiday hour schedule.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
All right. And then lastly, I wanted to seek approval for the BOAC meeting dates for 2022. Get those out of the way so we don't forget about
Not meeting on Veterans Day, are we?
them. I don't think so.
I move that we approve the dates for 2022.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
All right. I think that's all I have this time around.
Thank you, sir. Corporate council report.
I will certainly let Rick or Cinnamon contradict me, but I don't think I have anything.
All right,
Should be good.
that's good. I got a game I want to watch at 7, so. Controller financial report.
Yep, I sent this to you guys on Monday, I believe, but I'll quickly run through it. This period, so for October, we had 160K in revenues, and about 133,000 of that was fuel revenue. As far as expenses for the period go, we were at 129, so the net profit for this month essentially is 31,640. The reserve ratio that we currently have is 41%. It's a little bit below the 50 that we try to target, but that has been steadily increasing over the last several months. That's good to see. And then the last page is just basically the breakout between revenue for fueling and base operations. And as you can see from fueling, year-to-date actual revenue, our net cash flow from fueling is 339,000. The net cash flow from base operation is a negative 287,000 with a total net of about 52,000. So
I like black ink.
Yeah. It's good.
Do you have any questions? Thank you for the report. Engineer report.
All right, thank you. I've got several items, but I can move them pretty quickly. Just kind of stats update on the apron project, the AIP 32 grant, which was the environmental portion of that. I just talked with Jared, we're getting close to paying the invoice for the mitigation credits. Once that's completed, we do the annual report. We'll be taking steps work on closing that grant. We're down to just under, after this pay request, under 4,000, so we're close to having used it. But once we finish all the tasks that are associated with environmental, then we fulfilled everything we can do in the scope of work that the grant was written for. On the apron design, we're in the process of getting a stormwater report together for the city and county permitting. And then once that's together, we'll be needing to schedule kind of a meeting before the filings and have that started that coordination. One of the keys to that, and we worked with Rick, was agreeing on what were being modeled as far as future hangars to the south. As the city's looking to piggyback on the detention for the apron with some locally funded detention to enable hangars to be built without having to build separate detention, essentially banks and stormwater detention. So that's part of the reason for the submission to the city and then review by outside parties so we can document that for the future so that as a hangar comes up, we can say, okay, it needs this much stormwater, here's what was built, and essentially kind of record it like we would a bank. And then the last one was the environmental mitigation grant. The city's received that grant payment, so the funds are there then to pay that invoice to the state, those credits, which that's yet to be able to do the construction because we've had that mitigation. But any questions on the apron project? Moving along on that. Related to the grants, have 2 pay requests. The first one is AIP 32, pay request 10, in the amount of $1,995.98. And this is one that still is federal, state, local. So you see the breakout there. With request approval of the invoice and approval to submit the AIP and state pay requests associated with that.
I would move that we approve the Hanson's Task Order 1 invoice in the amount of $1,995.98 and submission of AIP and state grant pay request 10 for apron EA.
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the other pay request is related to the apron design and permitting. It's in the amount of $10,278.52. This is one of the grants that's 100% federally funded, and so you don't see any state or local share, but we recommend approval of the invoice amount of $10,278.52 and submission of AIP 34 pay request 7 for the apron design.
I would move that we approve Hanson's task order 5 invoice in the amount of $10,278.52 and submission of AIP 34 pay request 7 for apron design.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Okay, and then the last item needing action is the grant pre-application for the 2022 grant. We coordinated with NDOT, and they don't have any changes to how it's been programmed. And of course, the caveat, it's no guaranteed funding, but they're looking to try to fund that. And the pre-applications are due December 1st. Then basically how it will work is once we take bids in the spring, coordinate that schedule with the FAA, we'll submit the grant application based on bid prices. As for construction, they want that, but this basically puts you in line with the amount. So we request approval of the AIP grant pre-application for expand apron phase 2, modify existing drainage and construct stormwater detention and submission.
I move that we approve AIP grant to pre-application for expand apron phase 2, modify existing drainage and construct stormwater detention.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Next is just a summary of the current grant status for AIP 32 and 34. It's after the pay request was approved. The AIP 33 grant, we submitted that closeout paperwork to the state. I'll be working with Rick to work on getting you signed it when you did the submission. The Carissa grant, so we'll be sending that in just as soon as I know exactly whether it goes to the Chicago office or headquarters office to close. What would be AIP 35, 36 after we pay for mitigation credits. If no additional professional assistance is needed, we'll work on closing that. And then AIP 37, which was the airport rescue grant, coordinating with Rick, intended to do that grant for all next year, so it'll be part of next year's budget. So that's where we stand. At this point, we have not heard anything more on, next year's grants will be 100% funded, so we're proceeding, it will be the traditional 90% and 5 state and 5 local. But we'll wait and see what happens there. Kind of related, included with your packet was the proposed capital improvement program and exhibit that we'll be sharing with NDOT at our CIP coordination meeting next week. And so we'll go through, like I said, your program's pretty set because we're in the midst of this apron expansion. But we'll still want an update on that. And then obviously we'll be talking with them as kind of after the apron, what's coming next, which is some precision approach path indicators, at least at this point, for the next highest priority. And then the last thing to support the construction, where you'll have grants over $250,000, we've been putting together a DBE plan. I'll get that to Rick for him to look at. The one thing we'll need to do as part of that is post the draft plan on the airport's website, and then host a outreach event where we reach out to some of the MBE, WBE, DB certification groups in the city of Indianapolis, and Marion County and surrounding areas, letting them know that you've got a DBE plan, what the projects are, inviting them, if they've got questions, to review the plan, come to the meeting. Don't expect a high attendance, but it's one of the requirements of the plan. So we'll get that put together in a schedule. We're talking about probably after the Thanksgiving holiday, but not too late in the month of December. But get it posted to give folks a chance to read it if they want. And that concludes my report, unless you have any questions.
None. Thank you. The board requests. Nope. I have a claims docket totaling $43,214.91. I get a motion to approve.
Make a motion that we approve the docket for,
$43,214.91.
yeah.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Terry, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, I just sure hope Mel got his paycheck. That's the only thing I wanted to check on.
Yeah, I got it, but,
All right.
You looked very handsome shoveling the dirt yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
No comment about what you're normally shoveling, but that's off the record. All right, don't put that in minutes.
Scratch that.
Next meeting is December 9th at 5:30 right here, and appreciate everybody coming out. We'll see you then. Okay, thank you all.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, I was working last meeting with traffic trouble. Oh.
Hey, Rick,
Yeah,
Um,
do you need me to come in and sign stuff sometime this week?
let's see, I think Cinnamon sent you,
She
sent you
sent the pay request
invoice.
thing.
Oh, yeah, you'll probably have to sign the docket, yeah,
Okay.
And pick up your check.
and pick up your check, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna hold it hostage until you sign.
So, yeah, anytime that's convenient for you. we'll,
Okay.
I'll just keep it on my desk or Cinnamon's desk. So,
Okay. Perfect. I appreciate it.
yep, no problem. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too. See you.
I got 3 tabs for
Oh,
signature,
okay.
and it's front and back, so it's a little bit,
Uh-oh. One minute curveball.
I didn't get a chance to print each one.